Hello there, this is Kush Sharma from Creative Pad Media. In this tutorial, we'll be taking this very ordinary looking shot of this pizza and doing an entire photo and video shoot and making it look really professional like the shots that you can see in front of you. We will be using the ChatGPT AI image generator, and for the video that you can see in front of you right now, we will be using Kling AI. Now, this was not as straightforward as it seems, because I thought we were just going to upload the reference images, upload the the ordinary looking shot of the pizza and just give it a prompt and things are going to work. No, it was slightly challenging, and I'm going to be showing you the entire process. So let's get started first of all with the first step itself, which is getting the reference images. So finding good reference images is a very important part of this process. That's what starts the whole thing. And like I've shown this a couple of times in my videos, I just like to use Google Images for this. You can just type in the product and the term photography, so pizza photography. And here I was looking for dark, low-key, dramatic, moody shots. So what you can do to filter that out is to hit Tools and then go over to Color and select black, because that will be the key color then, and you're going to see shots exactly like that. And this just narrows down your search. And when I kept going through such shots, these are the shots that I really liked. I have given you these. You can download this from the description in the video, the link there. And we are going to be using these shots inside ChatGPT to start the process. So how does this work? Now, before we get started, this is the ChatGPT interface. You do need the Plus account for it right now. On the free plan, the latest AI image generator does not work. And you can see the process is fairly straightforward. So this was one of the reference images. This was the original shot of the pizza. And obviously this pizza and the reference image was different. So the prompt after uploading both these images was create a professional pizza shot for the second pizza, just like the one in the first image. Very simple prompt. However, the results were not that straightforward. So you can see ChatGPT did a pretty good job. If I click and show you this image, like the zoomed in version, you can see the overall look was exactly like that reference shot, but there were two things wrong here. One was the thumb here. It just didn't look natural because it was under the pizza. Secondly, more importantly, this part, because this pizza slice has been lifted, should have been empty on this wooden board, and that wasn't the case. So then, of course, we try to modify this. So I exactly told it the same thing. There are two issues with this. The hand that is holding the pizza is not correct, as the thumb is below the pizza. And also the part on the pizza where the pizza slice has been lifted from should now be empty. And you can see it kind of corrected this. So it definitely improved the thumb part. It gave a bit of a gap here, but you can see the crust part of it still continue. That means it still did not look very, very real. And then I did mention the same thing. This is better, but the part where the pizza was lifted, still not fully empty, as the crust can be seen. Correct this. And this time, again, it just wasn't able to do this. Maybe it just added more of the gap here, but it was still struggling with this. So then what I did was, usually when ChatGPT is not working out for me, what I like to do is just go over to Sora AI, which is, again, OpenAI's video generation platform, but you can generate images also there. And sometimes there, using exactly the same prompt and the same method of giving it the reference image, it can actually produce better results. So I did this. I hit the plus sign, added both the images, use exactly the same prompt, and let me directly show you the results that I started to get. So this was the first result I got. And again, you can see the image to me looked much better, because the toppings here just had they looked more punchy, they had more contrast, but again, it had the same problem. So what I did then was you can, anytime you want to change it, just like you do in ChatGPT by adding a new prompt, you can hit this option that says Edit Remix and then just modify the prompt, or just tell it where it went wrong. So I did exactly that, and let me show you the next result was this one, which was really, really nice. So this is exactly what I was looking for. So sometimes Sora can do a much better job than ChatGPT, even though it's the same generator. But here, the only problem was, again, we were facing the problem of the thumb. So then I again hit Edit Remix, and the third result that I got was back to square one. So again, it removed that empty area, it corrected the thumb, and it didn't even look good. So what I did was, I went back to the second image, I downloaded this image, and I actually just got so frustrated that I opened up Photoshop and simply just made a selection here, and I just typed in generative fill thumb. and it gave me this result that you can see in front of you. So you can see that Photoshop helped us out a bit. If you don't have Photoshop for this, you can also use the Adobe Firefly website, because that will allow you to do the same thing and use generative fill for free. So that's how I got this image. Now let's see the second one. The next image worked out really well right in the first go, because this was the one. So if I show you, this was the reference image, and I just typed in create an image like the first one, but for the pizza in the second image, make it really smoky and dramatic. So you can see this was the result that it gave me, and I was very, very happy with this because the toppings were exactly the same as in the original pizza shot, and it just overall looked really, really nice. And this is the shot, if you remember, that it looked very similar to the video that I showed you before. So this was the shot that I used in Kling AI also to create the video, and the exact process for that I'll show you after I have shown you the other images. So we'll see this towards the end, because it does involve one extra step, which I'll show you later. But right now, let's move on to the next image. The next image also worked out fairly well. This was the reference image, and I just typed in create an image like the first one, but for the pizza in the second image, the pizza should be a close-up so the toppings can be seen clearly. This was the first variation because I really wanted like a close-up shot for this, and I really loved the specular highlights it gave on the toppings, because I have done food photography for my clients, including pizza photography, and we often remove the softbox wherever you have a lot of detail in food, just to actually deliberately add this harsh light with the specular highlights and shadows to make it look more dramatic, to make the texture stand out. And the way it has replicated that here is very close to what we get in the real life using a light without a softbox. So this was very, very impressive. The toppings were exactly the same, and but what I wanted for the next shot was that I just typed in good. Now slightly zoom it out, and with some props in the background, and give it a rustic look. And it gave me two results here, and I really like this first result because it added those props and this rustic looking surface here, kept the toppings exactly like how it is in the original pizza, and this time I feel this composition was slightly better. Now let's move on to the next image. For the last shot, my approach was a bit different. I didn't use any reference image because in my mind, I actually wanted a person like a chef or something right in the image itself, and they're tossing the pizza, because I've seen shots like that before, but I didn't really know what exactly is the place where they make those things with the fire and all these things. So since we are on ChatGPT, that's one advantage, because you can really just ask it right there and then once your query is answered, you can actually just continue right within that window to create the image. And that's exactly what I did. So you can see here, what do you call that place where they make the pizza in the fire-like kitchen with that little oven-like cave? I didn't really know what it was called, and it told me that these are the names for that, because then I could use that in the prompt. So you can see that, yes, okay, so I want you to create a low-key dramatic looking shot of a chef who's wearing white kind of clothes in a wood-fired oven and all these things, and he's tossing up the pizza. So make this a low-key shot where everything is dark and the focus of the light is mainly on the subject. And this was the first result it gave me. It was exactly what I wanted. The only thing was, as you can see here, was the subject was still very, very dark. So then obviously what I did was make it more brighter, and also the pizza toppings can be seen, can't be seen, so just change the angle where they can be. Didn't really follow this command, to be frank, but it definitely, first of all, it didn't understand what I was trying to say, so I had to just write it again. That happens sometimes in ChatGPT, but you can see, finally, it gave me the kind of exposure that I wanted on this chef, and this looked really nice. The only thing was that here, since I hadn't given it the reference image of our original pizza, this was the pizza that it had generated. So again, what I did was I simply just downloaded this image, uploaded both this image and our original shot, and just asked it to replace the pizza, and this was the shot that we got. Now finally, let me show you the process of converting this into a video. So like I mentioned before, this was the shot that I wanted to use for the video creation because it just looked very, very dramatic. And my idea was that somebody is just placing this like you saw in the video right here, and that would look good. Now, I knew that Kling AI could do this very easily, especially on the Pro plan since I'm a paid member, and I'll talk about why the Pro plan is needed and why it can't do something like this in the free plan. So I'll just come to that. But also, so I started writing something about Kling, which I'll just show you when we go on to the part and I show you Kling AI here, okay? But before that, when I was doing this, this was the prompt that it actually gave me. Don't worry about this part earlier, I'll describe it later. But this was the part about the movement of someone keeping the pizza right on this part here, okay? So what I did was, before using Kling AI, I actually thought to myself that since I'm on the ChatGPT Plus account, remember we also have access to Sora, and Sora is actually the image is the video generator actually. So let me just try that out here also. Now the problem with Sora is, let me just show you before I actually show you this particular video. If I just go back to the home page and you select video from here, this time instead of image, it only allows you to upload one image as the reference image for your video. That means if you're turning an image to a video, you can't have 2 points or 2 keyframes. Think of it like that, that I can't start from that whole area being empty and then telling it that the end frame has to be where the pizza is kept there, and therefore it gets more context about that motion that it has to create. Since we can only enter one image here, what happened was that I had to just put this image and I had to rely on the prompt here to make that motion. And I wanted to see how it does that. So I pasted in the prompt, uploaded the reference image, and if I just show you the result, it was pretty terrible because it just did not understand what to do. The quality of the video was not bad, but it just didn't make any sense what this person is doing here. And I think that's down to the fact that we simply can't give it those keyframes. Whereas on Kling AI, like I'm going to show you, you can. So you can see here, I did exactly that. And I got a result, which, let's just play the result. You can see this result just looks exactly what I wanted. It's a 5-second video, but it is perfect. So how things work with Kling AI is that once you go to the website and you do create your account, you can create a lot of videos because you do get a lot of free credits also on the free plan. I think you get around 150 to 160 credits, and each video, a 5-second video, will cost you around 20 credits. So you can definitely generate a lot of these videos. But again, on the free plan, you can't give it 2 images. So we're going to face the same problem that we were facing with Sora AI. Now, before I talk about that and show you how I even made this starting frame image and all these things, let me actually just show you the entire process here, because once you do create your account on Kling AI, the first thing that you'll have to do is just go over here on the left to video generation, make sure you've selected image to video, and under that, make sure you are set on frames. Now, here's the thing. If you're on the free plan, like I said, you can only upload the starting frame. So what I did initially was that I just wanted to see how it will feel like to a free user also, because I'm already a paid member of Kling AI. So I tried it with one image and I only uploaded this image that we generated with ChatGPT, and I just wrote in the same prompt there and it gave me this result. And you can see that this also didn't really look bad, but then again, that motion was missing. So we had to provide it that first frame, which you can do on the paid plan. Because on the paid plan, if you just scroll down, there's something called as mode here. And this is the professional mode. It will allow you to switch to the professional mode. And on the professional mode, you can give it the keyframes like this, the starting frame and the ending frame. But remember, we also need the starting frame because we already had the ending frame. So that's where I had gone back to ChatGPT and I started this whole process by telling it, so I want to make a video from this image using Kling. And this will be the ending frame, generate a starting frame for this. And also for the motion, give me a prompt. So I asked for both the things. This was that prompt, which we had used in Sora also, which described the motion. And then I asked it to generate the starting frame without the pizza. It got it wrong on the first go, because you can see it still left the pan here. But then I just told it to remove the pan also. And then it gave me this. Then I went back to Kling. I uploaded this as the starting frame, this as the ending frame. And then I just copied exactly that same motion prompt also. And then it just took me around 2 to 3 minutes, which is again an advantage of being a paid user to get a result like this. Otherwise, even a 5-second video on the free plan can take you around 30 to 40 minutes, okay? But I think I was very, very satisfied with this result. And finally, let's have a look at the entire photo shoot once again. So these are the images. And this is the video. So in case this video helped you out, do give it a like. And if you want to follow along all my experiments with the different AI editing tools out there, then make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time.